financial flow. The yield is high, the purity is medium, and the scalability is really high.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage what you have when you use the membrane clarification using all fiber. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very easy to scalable, high yields. You can sometimes use a multi-step. You can minimize the multi-step process by using a TFF.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the feedback we normally get from the customer. Those who use the centrifuge for now.
Yeah, but this is so different in result from the different techniques for exosome manufacturing isolation. For TFF, if the purity is about medium,
Yes.
I think it is depending on how we select the cell, the
Yeah.
membrane diameter,
Yes.
and how many time to use TFF.
Right.
Yeah. So sequentially, TFF will increase the purity. So for my experience related to using the TFF, if you use the TFF with the MWCO about below 100 kilodaltons,
Right.
maybe more purity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. The selection of membrane is one of the important criteria
Yeah.
to achieve the better purity.
Yeah, but if we using the smallest, the yields will be low.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So, and we did the isolation by using primarily for the clarification of the 0.65 micron,
Yeah.
sometimes 0.2, depends upon the size.
Yeah.
So, this gives a better recovery at the end of the process and also better controlled, concentration and of the exosomes. And if it is less than 200 nanometer size, so 0.65 can be used for the clarification. So we tried different types like 0.65, 0.2 and 750.
Six time.
Yeah.
That's mean the 6 time.
We did a 6x,
6x.
6 trials, evaluations, 2x evaluation and also 1x evaluation to see which ones better works for the application.
Yeah, this is TFF or
Yeah, TFF.
Yeah.
And we operated with 2000 to 4000 immersion per second as a standard
Yeah.
value. And we got around 30 LMH during the run.
Yeah.
And the process time is very short. And the loading ratio of it is around 10 to 20 liter per meters per area. We did with the loading condition.
Why you use so large pore of the membrane?
Sometimes if the debris size is very smaller,
Yeah.
okay, if it is 200 nanometer, there's high chance that it may not, 0.2 may not work.
Wow.
Okay, so 750 kilodalton is less than 200 nanometer, which means it can easily pass through.
Yeah.
If it is smaller exosomes, 750 can works.
Yeah.
Then 0.2. So that's the reason why we also tried 750.
Because if you use this time, the purity is low.
Okay.
Yeah, because they contain a lot of anti microvesicle from cell. Because with this time, maybe the peaks of the cell, the exosome diameters will be about more than 100 nanometers, about 1 year, 1.5 year,
Okay.
1.5 or 1.4 year, right? Yeah. So if you use about, for my experience, about maybe 300 or smaller will be the peaks after you using the nanometer to get about more than 100.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends again.
Yeah.
So every customer has a different size.
But this you get a high yield.
Yeah.
Yeah, high yield. Yeah.
I hear you get a good.
Okay. Yeah.
So when it comes to the alternative to the exosome isolation, TFF is a potential option to isolate your exosomes during the run. And also for purification, you can also use affinity based or ion exchange based chromatography to purify your exosomes. And when it comes to the concentration and final formulation, so we can use a different cutoff of EF membrane to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
If there's no scientific use, so TFF would be the logical choice for this application.
For purification using chromatography, you have the Repligen have any elements that we buy from the GE?
Yeah, so we don't have the resin, but we will pack the resin in our opus columns and give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either we source it and pack, or we can directly take from you and pack and give. So the ready to use columns, no need to do any kind of manual thing, just plug and play.
Okay.
Yeah. So for opus columns, mainly we pack to your specification, and really what we're providing is a service for you to pack any type of resin. And the other thing is we have very good experience handling many resins.
Okay.
So as Ravi mentioned, you can either source for your own resins or we pack the resins, but a lot of consideration, especially coming from Sativa resin, is a long lead time.
Yeah.
So we have stocks in place for them, for you to select if it's a major resin.
Yeah.
So there are about 300 over resin that we have in our warehouse.
Yeah.
It's a FIFO, so first in first out, so the expiry is very long.
Yeah.
But we already pre-purchased those resin so that you can, and our packing lead time is about 8 weeks longer.
Okay.
So within 8 weeks you need to use, we are ready for that.
Okay.
If we have the resins for you. So
Yeah.
you can not consider that, especially again with tariffs and other things, for you to buy resin and then ship it to Vietnam and then drop ship to us.
Yeah.
So you can save all those trouble to see where it's coming in and out, and you need to do the custom clearance.
Yeah.
So we can source it for you, we pack it, and then you use it
Okay.
directly in Vietnam. I think that's the advantage
Yeah.
for this,
Yeah.
for us, for you.
Okay.
The main advantage is that there's a manual intervention here. No cracking, no channeling. It's ready to use columns, and you don't need to spend your not unproductive activities
Yeah.
of doing
Yeah.
manual packing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you don't need to maintain a packing machine.
Yeah.
You don't need to rewrite and tune every different resin.
Yeah.
You are screening resin, there's many resin you will keep trying, right? So we pack all kinds of resin. So even if you're doing for small columns for screening in mini or
So
Velcro,
we do have
the small
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
We do a screening style.
And then you select your final resin, then we can pack it for you.
Yeah.
You don't need to have an acichrome, maintain an acichrome, and all those maintenance service. It's just come as ready to use.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
most of the companies now it started feeling that packing columns are unproductive job.
Yeah.
That's why they straight away moving to the pre-pack column so that they can save a lot of time and manpower and buffer all the stuff to do a process on a continuous basis.
Okay.
So when it comes to the final concentration, so we use different cutoff from 100 kilodalton to 500 kilodalton for the UFDF stage, and we did more than 30 exosome UFDF evaluation with using 100 kD, 300 kD, 500 kD, and so on, and we use a 0.5 and 1 mm lumen ID and both sterile and non-sterile modules for the concentration of exosomes. Okay, so as Jax mentioned, we provide a complete flow path as a single-use gamma sterilized to cut down the contamination issue, endotoxin burden, all the stuff. We just use it, throw it down.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you mentioned, that's expensive, but to safeguard your complete process time and also complete effort you made for 1 month processing of the complete exosomes, that will be saved.
Yeah.
So that's a big advantage of using ProConnect or sterile flow path to avoid the contamination and endotoxin problems. Okay, so we use 3600 inverse second as a standard shear rate condition to get a better result, and we got around 30 to 40 LMH as the average during the run, and we completed the process within 2 hours of time with a loading ratio of 10 to 20 liters per minute per area. So this is the real time data. We started the volume with 5 liter,
Yeah.
and we use a SO4 membrane to concentration, and with a loading ratio of 50 liters per minute per area, and concentration of factor of 30 followed by 10x dV, and the processing time is 2 to 5 hours, and TMP of 0.2.
Yeah.
And this is the actual flux data versus pressure condition during the run.
Okay.
Okay. And with that, there is a recovery slide. So we got more than 90% of the isosome recovery at the end of the run.
Yeah.
In the process. So we are not that in the cryopreservation and freeze drying and spray drying, but we do have bags to store the product into the final exosome storage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So conclusion, TFDF also one of the potential membrane for the primary isolation, and we also worked on the microcarrier cultures. Very soon we have more data to come out on the isolation of exosomes, and when it comes to the hollow fiber, I say 0.65 would be the better option for the clarification, primary clarification, and 10K, 100K to 500 kilo Dalton would be the second purification stage of exosomes with the lower condition, with the lower shear conditions, fast processing time, better removal of contaminants, and also easy scalability.
Yeah.
So this is the advantage over centrifugation step compared to the membrane clarification and concentration of isolation of exosomes. Yeah.
Yeah. But we would like to know, and you can share any result from your system to isolate exosome?
Yes, I have some data. I'll share with you.
Okay.
Right away.
She would like to see the purity